And I only work with clients where I'm working with both spouses and they're 100% amicable. I won't take them on if there's even a single disagreement or one party's not going to participate. I've talked to some now that they have a complete different approach where they will only work with one party and
Oh,
not both parties.
interesting.
And yeah, and I thought that was interesting because first of all, you're basically forcing the other spouse to go somewhere else, even if they are in agreement. Now you have two different people giving two different sets of advice on what the paperwork needs to be done to get. I think that just overly complicates it. And that's why I don't like taking cases where I'm not working with both. And I don't charge double for working with both spouses. But I think these people are operating like attorneys would, where they're kind of,
Mm.
you know, quasi quote unquote representing them in essence. And I think that's a dangerous road to go down because then you're talking about having to give, whether you mean to or not, advice on procedure or, community
Yeah.
property laws and things like that. So,
Yeah, I
um,
think that opens up the can of worms to have
mhm,
more issues too. It's gonna, okay, that person may or may not like plant a seed of a question, and then the spouse is like, okay, well, that's not a concern for me. And suddenly it's if they charge by the hour or however they charge, it's just
yeah,
it's not a healthy way to proceed. I like the way you do this where you're working with both of them and there's no secrets, there's no unknowns, there's no uncertainty. This is what it is. It's black and white. It's super simple and that's just the way it is. I mean, like you said, it's a friendly divorce, and we're just moving in our different directions, and let's do the paperwork and move on. And that's a nice, clean way to do it.
yeah. The and that kind of dovetails into what I do as a document preparation. Um, and then going to why I want to work with both spouses is that we can't give legal advice. We're not attorneys. We're not, um, we're not handling contested cases. We don't represent you. We basically are facilitating the process by doing the paperwork for you and, intervening between you and the court and the
Mm-hmm.
process. And going back to people that are doing what I do, but only handle one spouse, they're having to give some amount of advice. And I think that's where people are going to get themselves into hot water,
Yeah.
is because if you are doing that, you are basically, um, it's called the unlawful practice of law. And the bar association can literally take away your, it's not a license. It's basically a registration we have to get in California. But I mean, it's to take away your ability to do what you do in your livelihood. So
And yeah, shut his business down. That's treading very, very tricky waters.